Shalom. First off, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shai, Yahweh, who the world didn't really calls God, in the name of Yahweh Shai, who the world didn't really calls Jesus Christ. Secondly, I'd like to give a double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who rule well and who continue to teach us this truth, and the salutations to you, Akim, out there doing the work of Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shai, sincerely. Alright, the name of this lesson is The People in the World Are Empty. Alright, I'm just going to get right to it. There's Ecclesiastes chapter 13 through 14, and it says, chapter 1, verses 13 through 14, and it says, And I gave my wisdom to seek and search out and I gave my heart to seek and search out by wisdom concerning all these things that are under heaven. This sore travail hath God given to the sons of man to be exercised therewith. And I have seen all the works that are done under the sun, and behold, all is vanity and vexation of spirit. All right. So Solomon, being the wisest man, all right, to ever lived, all right, he has seen all the acts, all the works done in the world, and at the end of the day, he concluded what? He concluded that all these works were essentially just vanity and vexation of spirit, things that were going to piss you off. Why? Well, because they have no depth, all right, and this is why the lesson is called "People in the World Are Empty." Because there's just this underlying emptiness that the people in the world have, where there's no depth to them. Everything that they think about is temporary. There's no substance to anything that they do, and it's because they don't have Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai in their life. It's because they're not living properly. They're not living according to the law, statutes, and commandments. To the best of their ability. I'm not saying that I live 100% to the law, statutes, and commandments. I'm not saying that brothers out there live 100% to the law, statutes, and commandments. All right, but we do need to understand that there is an importance in trying. There's a big importance in trying to follow the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability, because when you do follow the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability, it's going to put you in good graces with Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. It's going to put you on the right trajectory, all right, for salvation. All right, you're going to start to see certain things. You're going to start to learn certain things. All right. You're going to see the world for not what it is, but for what it is to become. All right. The kingdom of heaven. But right now, these people don't see that. Why don't they see that? Because one, they don't have the faith of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. But ultimately, the Lord didn't choose them. So they are empty. I'm praying I'm the chosen. I'm praying my brothers in this truth are chosen, man. So the word here is Strong's 1892. It's Hebel. Habal. All right? Habal. In the Hebrew, and it means vapor breath, vanity, vainly. All right? And so a vapor is what? Let's say you go outside and you exhale. You see that little smoke, which signifies the contrast in temperature between your body temperature and the outside temperature differential. Well, that's a vapor. All right? That's literally vapor. That's your exhalation versus the temperature outside. And that comes and goes right away. You see it and then you don't. Well, that's the things of this world. The things of this world are like a vapor. They're vain. And the main reason that they're vain is because they don't have Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai in them. All right? This is the word vanity using the online entomology tool. Right? And it reads, circa 1200, that which is vain, futile, or worthless. From Old French, vanite, self-conceit, lack of resolve, emptiness, aimlessness, falsity. Figuratively, vainglory, foolish pride. From vanus, empty or void. Figuratively, idle or fruitless. All right, it says to leave, abandon, give out, meaning self-conceited. Right? So this is just emptiness. It's essentially emptiness, void. All right? Fruitless. unproductive. All right. That's essentially what it's about. It's about being unproductive. Nothing that this world has to offer is anything productive. This world only has to offer. The stuff that this world only has to offer is vanity. It's emptiness. Why? Because it's not rooted in truth. It's not rooted in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. This is John chapter 15, verse 19 through 23. And it says, if ye were of the world would love his own. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. Remember the word that I said unto you. Remember the word that I said unto you. The servant is not greater than his Lord. Exactly, man. So we, all right, as men of the Lord, all right, we are in direct contrast with this world, much like Yahweh Shai was. All right? Because while the world is empty, we're trying to be what? We're trying to be filled. Filled with what? Filled with the Holy Spirit, man. Filled with the living waters. So there's going to be that disconnect. There's going to be that, to put it in layman's terms, there's going to be that beef between the men of the Lord, all right? Their power, all right, their savior, and the world. It says the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will also keep yours. Well, all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me. Exactly. Ultimately, these people who persecute the Lord's people, the Lord's men, the reason that they're doing so is because they don't understand the true power of Yahweh, all right, who is the Lord, all right, the Father. They don't really understand how serious his power is, all right. They don't understand how serious his power is. So anything that Yahweh Shai went through, all right, we're gonna go through, because we're not greater than him, all right, and he is our master. It says, but these, Salaki, it says, if I had not come and spoken unto them, then they had not had sin, but now they have no cloak for their sin. He that hateth me also hateth the Father. Exactly, man. So ultimately, these people, man, in the world, all right, you have to talk to them. You have to tell them what it is, because if not, then their blood is in your hands. And in this venture of you telling them about the truth, you're telling them about the faith, you're telling them, you're giving them resources, you're doing whatever it is that you need to do in order for them to you're guiding them in the right direction. After you've done that, then that's it. They have no cloak for their sins. They have no cloak for their sins. They have no backup. They have they have nothing. All right? And they're gonna die in their sins. They're gonna be put to death. All right? It says, he that hateth me also hateth the Father. All right? So now the word world here in cosmos, all right, is talking about it's talking about if he were of the world, right, the world will love his own. All right, the world that is talking about here is talking about the general people, general population, the earthly. All right, so it's gonna be definition 7a. All right. So the word here is cosmos. All right, this is Strong's G 2889. The word here is cosmos. All right, and I guess 6 works as well. All right, but we're gonna go into outline of biblical usage. We're gonna go to definition 6. It says the ungodly multitude, the whole mass of men alienated from Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, and therefore hostile to the cause of Yahweh Shai. It says world affairs, the aggregate things, earthly, a whole circle of earthly goods, endowments, riches, advantages, pleasures, which although hollow and frail and fleeting, stir desire, seduced from God and are obstacles to the cause of Yahushai. Alright, so that's perfect definition right there. Ultimately, the world is what? The world is hollow, it's frail, and it's fleeting. How is it fleeting? It's fleeting because no matter how hard you work, no matter what you do, it will never be enough for you. Alright, that's how things of the world work. You know, you can get a brand new 2013 car, and guess what? In 2 years, that 2013 car is going to be what? It's going to be old. It's going to be irrelevant. And that's how everything in this world is. But the truth, the Holy Spirit, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, man, alright, is forever. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13. It is, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Alright? So that's it, man. That's the whole duty. The whole duty of man is to keep the commandments of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. You know, it doesn't get any simpler than that, really. That's literally the whole duty of man. The whole duty of man is to keep the commandments. Alright? Pray unto the Lord. Alright? Pray unto the Lord. Pray that the Lord preserves you, man. And keeps you in the right path. Praising Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Saying Tawada Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. And praying in his name. You see? That's what we need. You know, everything else is meaningless. Everything else is meaningless. But through Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, you know, everything else, if it's in alignment with Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, then it's going to be perfect. It's going to be forever. It's going to be infinite. Why? Because the things of the Lord are infinite. The things of the Lord are literally infinite. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 1 through 2, and it says, remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. While the sun, or the light, and the moon, and the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. Exactly, so we need to remember the Lord in the days of our youth, man. We need to remember the Lord when things aren't bad, man, because it's real easy to remember the Lord when all hell is breaking loose. Alright, but it's a completely different thing to remember the Lord when things are good, man. When things aren't as bad. Alright? When you have money in your pockets. Alright? It's easy. It's extremely easy to remember the Lord. It's also easy to remember the Lord when you're of old age, man. A lot of women do that. A lot of women do that. Where they want to remember the Lord when the Lord is, you know, when they're already old. When they're already, you know, wasted. And they have nothing to offer unto the Lord. But no, we're supposed to remember the Lord in the day of our youth, man. When things are still good. You see? This is 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 17. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 17 through 18. And it says, for a light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. Exactly. So everything that we're doing at the end of the day is going to be for something greater. Alright? So while the people in the world are, doing worldly things, they're clubbing, they're whatever it is people in the world do, man. They're making TikToks, they're trying to become famous, they're trying to become rich, whatever the case is, whatever they are doing, while they doing that, all right, we're out here doing the work of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. All right, we out here catching hell, but ultimately we're gonna be the ones to win, because what we are fighting for is something eternal. All right, and what they are striving for is something temporal. Because even if they do build that wealth, even if they do get that fame, at the end of the day, it's going to be for naught. Because it's ultimately going to be temporary. Because they're going to be put to death eventually. They're going to be put to death eventually. So at the end of the day, what is it really for? It says, while we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are not, which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. Exactly, the things that are not seen, they're eternal, they're forever. All right? These things are forever. And opposed to the things of this world. The things of this world are temporal. They're empty. They're void. All right? This is Matthew chapter 6, verse 19 through 21. And it says, lay not up for yourselves treasures upon heaven, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven. Salaki, let me read that again. This is Matthew chapter 6, verse 19 through 21. It says, lay not up for yourself treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. All right? So don't be too worried about getting these worldly possessions. All right? Don't be too worried about getting yourselves these worldly possessions and laying up your treasures on this earth, man, because these things are temporal. They can always be stolen. All right? They're going to rust. All right? They're going to corrupt. All right? You're going to corrode. It says, but lay up for yourself treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Exactly. So we need to lay up our treasures where? In heaven. We need to lay up our treasures in heaven, because ultimately that's where we want our minds to be, and that's where we want to be. We want to be in the kingdom of heaven. And the only way that we're going to be able to kind of strive and bring that into fruition and bring forth the kingdom of heaven is going to be by focusing on laying up our treasures. And how do we do that? Doing these videos, going out there in the highways and byways, all right, being charitable to our brothers, all right, praying, cultivating that relationship with Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. That's how we're going to be able to do it. These are all things that are going to work, all right, and allowing us to kind of lay up those treasures, man. Those treasures are on, you can't take those treasures away. All right? It says, for where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Exactly. So where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. That's where your mind is going to be at, man. So if you're focused on putting your treasures in the world, then that's where your mind is going to be at, in worldly things. But if your treasures are upon, and so if your treasures are upon the Lord in the heavens, then that's where your treasure is going to be. That's where your mind is going to be. All right, this is 1 John chapter 2, verse 15 through 17. And it says, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. For if any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. All right, so if you love the world, you love the things of the world, then the love of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is not in you. All right, it says, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. Exactly, man. So these are all things that are of the world, man. And again, the things of the world are what? They're temporal, and they're empty, they're void, they're vain. Because what is in the world? lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, alright, the pride of life. All these things are not of the Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. It says, the world passeth away, and the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai abideth forever. And that's it on that, man. You know, you do the work of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, you're gonna abide forever, man. You do the work of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and it's gonna be work that's never gonna be it's never gonna lose its value. It's work that's never gonna not be worth doing. Alright? And that's what you need to understand. So the world and the people in the world are empty because they're not doing the work of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. They're focusing on things that are temporary. And these things that are temporary, once they're destroyed, that's it. Alright? So hey man, I like to give an all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, who continue to teach us this truth. And salutations to you, Akim, out there doing the work of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai sincerely. Alright? Hope this lesson was edifying. And until next time, Shalom.